Do you believe in, like, do you believe that there's positive attributes to the competitive spirit or the competitive attitude within people? Like, do you think that that's a positive or negative thing? Is that the right way to look at it?
I think the competitive attitude should be viewed like the ancient Greeks. It's a personal best. You're only competing against yourself. When I met Zydrunas Savickas, one of the greatest strongmen ever lived, I asked him about how do you end up competing when you're the best? Like when you know that nobody can lift any heavier than you can across 8 different exercises in a competition. What happens? Because, you know, at event number 3, you're already ahead. There's no one can beat you at this point. You're so far ahead of everybody. What happens? And he said, you basically have to compete against your own God yourself, which is a really interesting concept. And that came from, you know, clearly the most elite mindset level at that point in time. And I think that's the concept of correct attitude towards competition.
Yeah.
Because there's so many equalizers that happen. You might go into a competition and win the competition and then get jumped in the car park and it meant nothing. So, you know, you got to worry about that. So what are the rules in which the competition happens? And we're trying to eliminate the rules of competition in Aikido and just have the structure, because there's too many variables that come along. So you don't want to have a game set by boundaries. You want to have an existence set with no boundaries. And that's the idea of in the training. And I would say that would be the same at the highest levels of any traditional Japanese martial art, judo, karate do, kempo. All these things should, I believe, would be that.
Yeah.
That, you know, if you're such an amazing warrior, then there's nobody left to fight and win against. There's no competition left. So if you are the invincible warrior, there is no competition. If you're the fastest athlete in the world, there is no competition. When you are the fastest athlete, look at Usain Bolt. He didn't compete against anybody at his peak. He just ran his 100 meters and ran it how he wanted to run it. I think that one where he ran like 9.4 or 5 and he
5.7 or
like 6 strides out, he stopped, literally just went,
yeah,
and cruised off to the end. It's like the other 9 players in that weren't big factors in him winning that race. He was just out there to blast.
He was going to run that.
Yeah, he was running that 100 meters for sure, and he wasn't going to be beaten. And that concept of that mindset of that's what you're chasing. You're that mindset of being the best, that there is no competition. So because that exists, the concept in Aikido is that you don't have to fight against everybody to get there when you can implant that at the beginning.
So you can try and hold that state of mind even if you're not the best, even if you're not at the top. That's a good mindset to try and get into anyway, not just something that you can eventually enjoy once you are the best. Because most people never become the best at it. That's just statistically speaking, most people aren't going to become the best. But it's good to try and keep that state of mind as the state of mind when learning.
Yeah, I guess if you're talking about things outside of Aikido, yes, because it's in Aikido.
Yeah.
It's in the fundamental way in which it's performed.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be told to you.
It's not something you're trying to do. It's something that's built in if
Yeah.
you're doing it.
Yeah.